here at Nova Analytic Labs in Portland because we have some samples of triad weed that we're looking to get tested to see what kind of horrifying chemicals they've been spraying on their shit.
The reason why I'm so interested in these Chinese-made fumigants, pesticides, fungicides, antimicrobials, is because they're so heinous, so toxic that you're not even allowed to make them, let alone use them in the United States. So the California EPA only found these chemicals because they brought in the National Guard's Weapons of Mass Destruction Unit and had them do some testing on these chemicals. That's how they discovered what they were dealing with. We're dealing with a whole new level of toxicity, potentially making its way into the marijuana that Mainers consume.
They'll all contain these individual packets of sawdust. The pesticides are saturated in the sawdust. It's what's commonly seen as like an aluminum can, whether it's a beverage can or a food can. And then you'll see 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on how big the hooper is, the hoop house. You'll see multiple cans on the ground in the hoop house. So once we get into the results of what these materials contain in regards to the pesticides, just know that not a single, when you look at one of these pesticides individually, not a single one is even approved for use as a fumigant, let alone a mixture of them being used as a fumigant. This is also one of the ones that the 95th CST identified for us, because the number one most commonly found that we find at illegal grows. This is one to definitely keep an eye out for. This is one of the ones that was identified in the postal search warrant from the same sender address that was sending stuff to Maine, Maryland, and New York. So there were 13 pesticides identified total in the certified lab results. Out of the 23 pesticides that were identified in the samples that we sent to CST, 15 of them are not on anyone's list to test them. So I had to actually give this third-party lab, Alchemist, the list of pesticides that were identified, and they had to go out and find the standards for the ones they didn't have in order to do these tests. 2 of the pesticides, phenobarbital and isoproparb, that have no approved use in the entire United States. ZDVP, it's considered in California a toxic air contaminant. It's also listed on several safety data sheets, or just the chemical properties in general, listed as fatal if inhaled. What we don't know is what else is being generated. What are those decomposition products, thermal decomposition products that are resulting from burning multiple pesticides together.
We're about to go knock on the door of a home belonging to 32-year-old Wayne Yang, who was the recipient of some Chinese-made pesticides, according to the California Environmental Protection Agency. Looks like it was abandoned.
Quick wrap up.
Yeah, that's one where we should have talked with the neighbors first instead of afterward, because it turns out no one stays here overnight. According to the neighbor, they're there very, very early in the morning, and they dump out dehumidifiers, but no one stays there long term. And he said that there's usually 6 or 7 vehicles in the front yard. So this address would actually make sense to be, a center point for something to get shipped to, because there's no one there to be blamed if something you're not supposed to get, like Chinese-made pesticides, arrives there. But if there's 6 or 7 different vehicles there, that means that those Chinese-made pesticides could be distributed anywhere in the state of Maine, and probably are. All right, we just got the test results back from Nova Analytic Labs in Portland, and I have to say I'm not surprised by the results. In both instances, these samples failed for the presence of banned pesticides. Paclobutrazol is banned across the board for application on marijuana plants for a number of good reasons. 1, it's carcinogenic, but 2, it's also an endocrine disruptor. So someone who is consuming marijuana grown from these illegal marijuana grows that has paclobutrazol on it is unknowingly consuming something that can alter the way hormones work in their body. What we don't know is whether the banned Chinese-made pesticides and fungicides are also present in these samples. That's because these companies, the licensed cannabis testers in the state of Maine, don't even test for these chemicals because, again, they're banned for any kind of use. So if the Chinese-made illegal pesticides and fungicides being used as fumigants in California are also being used on these products, or any of the triad wheat being grown in the state of Maine,
Maine's testing labs would have no way of knowing because they don't test for it.